On a cold February night in 2004, a promising nursing student vanished on a rural New Hampshire road. No trace, no clear answers. For 2 decades, the case of Maura Murray has haunted investigators, her family, and millions of true crime followers. Tonight, we dive deep into the timeline of her final days and the mysteries that remain unsolved. Maura was a bright 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, a former West Point cadet, a gifted athlete, and the beloved daughter of a close-knit Irish-American family. But behind her smile, shadows lingered. Maura had faced academic pressure at one of the toughest military academies. Later transferring to UMass in hopes of a fresh start, she had a minor accident at her campus job, brushes with discipline, and a past DUI incident that weighed heavily on her. Friends described her as kind yet private, a young woman carrying more than she let on. Stress, secrets, and silent struggles followed her, shaping the days leading up to her disappearance. In the days leading up to her disappearance, Maura's state of mind became increasingly fragile. On the evening of February 5th, while at her campus security desk job, she received a phone call from her sister Kathleen, who had just been released from rehab. Kathleen described a tense argument with her fiancé, and Maura reportedly broke down in tears, barely able to speak. Her supervisor recalled finding her completely shaken, whispering only, "My sister," before being escorted back to her dorm. Over that weekend, Maura began quietly preparing. She packed up her dorm room belongings into boxes, leaving behind signs she didn't intend to return soon. On the afternoon of February 9th, Maura Murray set her plan into motion. At 3:40 p.m., she emailed her professors, saying there had been a death in the family and that she would be absent for the rest of the week. There was no such death. She then called her boyfriend in Oklahoma, leaving a voicemail. Her voice was calm, but brief. On February 9th, she withdrew $280 from an ATM, almost all the cash she had. Then, she stopped at a nearby liquor store, purchasing about $40 worth of alcohol, including Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua, and boxed wine. It seemed she was planning a trip, but to where and why? At approximately 7:27 p.m., a local resident in Haverhill, New Hampshire, dialed 911. A small Saturn sedan had run off the road on Route 112, a dark and isolated stretch near the White Mountains. The car belonged to 21-year-old Maura. The vehicle appeared lightly damaged, airbags deployed, windshield cracked. In the snow, the tracks showed it had skidded across the road and into a tree. Within minutes, a school bus driver named Butch Atwood stopped to check on the young woman standing by the car. She looked shaken, but insisted she was fine. "I've already called AA," she told him, but there was no call to AA. She refused help. Moments later, Atwood drove off, but kept an eye from his home just down the road. When police arrived about 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. When officers arrived on Route 112, just after 7:45 p.m., they found Maura's Saturn abandoned. The doors were locked, the hazard lights still blinking. Inside the car, they discovered empty beer bottles, a box of wine, and clothing scattered. But there was no sign of Maura. Tracking dogs followed her scent up the road, only about 100 yards, before it suddenly vanished, as if she had been picked up by another vehicle. Neighbors reported seeing a young woman at the scene, but couldn't agree on whether she walked into the woods or disappeared along the road. No footprints were found in the snow beyond a short distance. It was as though she had melted into the night. In the crucial first 48 hours, mistakes were made. The car was towed before a full forensic sweep. The area was not secured as a crime scene, and the public was told very little. Was Maura running from her troubles? Was she picked up by a stranger? Or did something far darker happen on that cold New Hampshire road? Her family rushed to Haverhill, hanging flyers, demanding answers. For them, every passing hour was agony. For investigators, the mystery had only begun. Over the years, countless theories emerged about what happened to Maura Murray that night. Some believe she planned her own disappearance, that she wanted to escape academic pressure, relationship troubles, and start fresh somewhere far away. The packed boxes in her dorm, the money withdrawal, and the alcohol purchase, they all point to preparation. A darker theory involves the rag in her exhaust pipe, a possible attempt at self-harm, or a desperate way to cover mechanical issues with her car. But no conclusion has ever been reached. Each theory opens doors, but none lead to certainty. Others argue she may have been the victim of foul play. The sudden end of her scent trail and lack of footprints suggest she may have entered another vehicle. Was she abducted by a stranger or picked up by someone she trusted? It has been more than 20 years. No confirmed sightings, no definitive evidence, no closure. Maura Murray simply vanished into the night of February 9, 2004. For her family, every anniversary is another year of unanswered questions. For the true crime community, her case remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. Perhaps one day, the truth will surface. But tonight, the mystery of Route 112 still stands unsolved.